Hi, I'm David Myers. I will be your professor for online accelerated intro to ethics. Um, Before we even kick off my expectations, I'd like to talk about the textbook. Now, this is the textbook that I have um, requested that be used. It's the 11th edition by Jacques Thoreau and Keith Krasman, Ethics, Theory, and Practice. But many of you may have this. And in fact, I think they're selling this in the bookstore. And so either one is fine. Oh my goodness. Um, that's the 11th. But I have editions going all the way back to 8. And regardless of which edition that you have, I think you can make this course work. So that being said, let's go and take a look at the website. I'm pulling it up now. It'll just take a moment. And voila. There we go. So obviously you've got this open if you're watching this video. So I don't need to give you instructions on how to get to the website. But that being said, I take great pride in keeping the course updated. And I've spent a couple of hours going through D2L to make sure that it's set up with all the correct dates, the due dates. That being said, I almost always find a mistake. If you find a mistake, email me, let me know, and we'll get that fixed for you. But right here, welcome. Let's go ahead and read that together. Welcome to Introduction to Ethics. Please take some time to examine the course syllabus and calendar. Okay. Our textbook is as follows, Ethics, Theory, and Practice, 11th edition by Jacques Thoreau. Because of the accelerated pace of the class, it's imperative that you keep up with the assigned reading. Please read all the items found in the content section completely and thoroughly, as they will answer 99.9% of your questions. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call me at, and then I've listed the phone number. Or if you would prefer, use email, and I've linked it to my email. Best wishes for a successful semester. All right. That being said, let's talk about my phone number. If you have any problems, if you have any questions, I know that most of you will not contact me. But I want you to change that attitude. And when you do call me, don't apologize. I have a job because I have students, and so I appreciate it. My time is your time. If you're having problems understanding something, call me. My number's here. I'll answer it. Um, I'm an old man, so I go to bed at 9. If you call after 9, I'll probably get back to you the next day. Emails I check several times a day, and so if you email me, I will get back to you. If I don't, email me, text me, or call me. The same number, by the way, I receive texts, so if you'd rather text, feel free. In the news section, I've got a link to the introduction video, but you're watching it. Then there's a blurb about weekly attendance board. Listen, in order for me to take attendance and to track attendance, I've got a discussion board titled Weekly Attendance. All you need to do is make a post each week there saying present. That's it. It's easy to do, and this will let me track who's keeping up. If you don't, for instance, If you haven't checked in by the end of this week, I will drop you. I'll try to contact you first, but if you haven't checked in the first week, then you're not making the effort that you need to keep up. One thing you'll need to do is check your email every day. Whether I've sent you something or not, I might have. And so check your email constantly. Um, keep up with keep up on this board. You know, there's a couple of different places where you will actually need to make posts, but this one's basic. So check in each week saying present, and I'll know who's keeping up. From there, let's look at the syllabus. You will go to Materials, Content, click that, then click Table of Contents, and it gives you everything. Instructor info, a link to this video, a link to the syllabus and the schedule. There's an assignment section that will give you information on each and every assignment that you will need to do in the course, including the date that it's due. Then there are chapter PowerPoints. I've given you the chapter PowerPoints that are provided with the textbook. And then on top of that, I have linked videos that I have made, lecture videos that you may find very useful. There's the chapter 1, the nature of morality, and supplemental to chapter 1, and then chapter 2 and 3, and so forth. So for the first 12 chapters, I have given you my notes. I mean, it's using the chapter PowerPoints, but with the addition of my notes. And so I think you'll find that useful. There's a interesting manners and etiquette video that watch and post something on. I mean, this would never have been appropriate 30 years ago, and yet today it's rather tame. Then helpful term paper resources. But for now, go ahead and open up. You can split the screen, by the way, but go ahead and open up the syllabus and schedule. First, you get the standard boilerplate stuff, you know, Northwest Technical College, the address, the date, the dates that the course runs, and so on. Some information about me along with my phone number and my email. You can link right there. A course description, I'll let you read that for yourself. There are no prerequisites, although I believe, and we've been talking about making college writing a prereq. The student who successfully completes this course will be able to pass a test with 70% accuracy or more on the following objectives. And one of these is critical thinking. You can read this for yourself. Ethical and civic responsibility. And then here's something that's important. Not that the others aren't, but methods to assess competence. This is how I come up with your grade. There's required reading. At the end of the course, not each week, but at the end, you will turn in a reading report. Now, I know in other classes you've had reading reports mean giving a synopsis of the reading. That's not what I want. All I want is a note from you saying I, and your name, have completed 100, 90, 80, 70, whatever % of the assigned reading, and sign your name. If you say you've read 75%, you'll get 7.5 points, and so on. And so this can be a whole letter grade. It's worth 10 points. And yet every semester, there's at least one student in each class that doesn't fill it out. They say, oh, I didn't know. Well, I don't know how you can't know. I mean, I'm giving you this video. It's right in the syllabus, and it's right listed under course assignments. So it's due on the 14th of October, which is incidentally the end of the course. examinations, and we'll talk more about the examinations in a few minutes, but that's worth 30 points, or 30% of your grade. There is a writing project, which is worth 30% of your grade. It's a term paper. There are exercises for review questions that are worth 15%, and there are discussion boards that are worth 15%. We've already talked a little bit about the textbook. Let's talk about proctors. I don't require proctors. This means that each and every one of you is on your honor to complete your exams without your notes or any other materials other than the textbook. The exams may be taken open book, but no notes. Cheating is a ground for immediate failure. Now, I don't know how I would find out. This is an ethics class. You're on your honor. But don't cheat. Let's talk about course assignments. Oh, so there's no proctor necessary. You don't use any software programs that will block your ability to move around. Just don't cheat. All right, reading. As I've already said, it's worth 10% of your grade. You'll see the schedule for what needs to be read. The course relies heavily on discussion. Now, we can't do that in an online class, but you'll need to keep up with the reading in order to keep up with the discussion boards. Now let's move on to discussion boards. You will each begin a thread for each section, and there are 3 sections, and you'll respond to 2 other threads per section. So for each section, you're going to have at least 3 posts. Now, every time someone says, well, I did the reading and I read the posts, but I see how many posts that you've read. And so, do the reading, click on each assignment, click on each posting, and that way it will register that you've read the post. So you need to make 3 per section. They need to be made before the last minute. That will give your classmates time for them to weigh in and make postings. It's worth 5 points per section. Exams, as I've already said, the course is broken into 3 sections. Each is divided into 4 chapters of the textbook. Each section has a corresponding exam consisting of 10% of the final grade. Added up, this makes 30% of your final grade. We'll talk more about exams, but here's what you need to know. Each exam is open for a week, a Monday to a Monday. So you'll have a week to take the exam. The exams are difficult, but if you do the reading and you do the practice exams, you'll do fine. The practice exams are always open. The test is taken directly from the practice exams. And so what you see is what you get. I'm not trying trick questions. If it's not in the practice exam, it's not on the exam. Now, that being said, you may be tempted to print out the practice exams, which you can do. Just don't use them when you're taking the exam. It would be too easy. If you're good at memorizing, you can memorize them, whatever. But as I said, the reading is difficult. The exams are difficult. And let's talk about that now too. One comment I often see is that, oh, the text is too difficult. Listen, this is a 3-unit college class in philosophy. The reading is supposed to be difficult. I don't want to read a lot of notes telling me how much you dislike the textbook. That being said, I don't expect you to be an expert. If you say you've read it, that doesn't mean you have to read it umpteen times for credit. Read it, do the practice test until you're comfortable, and that's worth maximum points. Philosophy is difficult reading. The first 7 chapters of this textbook are very difficult. Students complain. Ethics is a branch of philosophy, and so Uh, there are no right or wrong. Everything is abstract. And so you'll need to read the textbook and understand that Dr. Thoreau bounces back and forth. He's trying to give you all viewpoints regarding each separate subject. For instance, ethical egoism, psychological egoism. He's going to show you what's good, what's bad. You'll have to make up your own mind. But because most of you aren't experts in philosophy, the first 7 chapters will lay a foundation. Chapter 8 is building your own personal philosophy. And chapters 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all hot button topics. All right, discussion questions, 15%. You're going to take 2 questions from each chapter for each section. So that means 8 questions and answers. You've got to put the effort in. You can't cut and paste. I expect more than a sentence. Each one of these assignments should be 5 or 6 pages, a double spaced. And so you're going to have to put the time in. The more time you put in, the more you'll get out of the course. But anyway, on page 3 of the syllabus, it gives you the pages from this text. So if you have an older text, you'll need to figure out what pages they're on. But boom, each assignment is worth 5 points for a total of 15. And then comes your writing project, which is worth 30 points. You're going to write a term paper on any ethical topic that interests you, with the exception of abortion. I've read way too many papers on abortion in the last 15 years, and so no papers on abortion. But anything else is fair game. At least 7 pages, but no more than 9. Sometimes students will give me a 20-page paper thinking that that makes the paper better. Well, the exercise is 7 to 9. So you need to do at least 7 pages of content, but no more than 9. Double-spaced APA format, use a title page, an abstract, and a selected bibliography. Those 3 pages don't count towards the 7 to 9 pages. So if you write a 7-page paper, it's going to be at least 10 pages total. You need to cite at least 3 sources other than the textbook within the body of the paper. You can use 1 from your textbook, but 2 from outside sources. The paper is due on the last day of class by midnight. If you don't turn in a paper, you have failed the course. It doesn't matter how well you've done. If you decide you're not going to turn in a paper, you have failed. So please get a paper turned in on time. Now, before we talk about grading, let's talk about course schedule. Your first exam that covers chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 is open on the 29th of August through the 5th of September. That means that I expect you to have turned in your discussion questions and closed the discussion boards by midnight of 5 September. So at the end of the exam cycle. Exam 2 is 19 through 26 September, and it covers 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, you'll have your reading done by that point for that section. You'll turn in your discussion questions, and you've finished with your oh man, I'm getting old. Discussions by that point. And then 3 through 10 October is the exam cycle for the last exam. So 14 October, the term is over. Your reading report is due on that day as well as your term paper. Now I know the course is over then, but I've left D2L open for another week so you can track my progress that I've made on getting your papers graded. That covers the syllabus, that covers the course, and I hope you've got an idea of what my expectations are. Again, if you have problems, issues, call me. beep me, text me. Uh, what was the Kim Possible theme? Call me, beep me if you want to reach me. Well, call me, text me, whatever. Email me, catch me at the tech if you're a local student. Um, if you want to meet, text me or email me and I will make the time to sit down with you. I'm at the tech. I lecture on Thursdays for this particular course, the non-online. If you'd like to attend a session or two there, you're welcome. 6 to 9 on Thursday. The course is fast paced, and many people think that it's going to be a gut course, a really easy, and it's not. But I will say this, because the exams are difficult, I've built in some extra credit. If you blow an exam, do the extra credit, which is just grading your exam basically. Don't cut and paste. And say you got a 40. If you turn in the extra credit, I give you, I raise it all the way to a 70. If you get between a 70 and 79, I'll raise it to 80. And all the way up to about 95. I'm not going to raise it above 95. An A is an A. There are no pluses, minuses, but I've even built in extra credit. So um, don't panic, don't despair. Do your best to keep up with the reading. Understand you don't have to become an expert, just do the reading. Thanks. Let's have a wonderful, successful semester together.